Ciudad Rodrigo is a small cathedral city in the province of Salamanca in western Spain, with a population of about 14,000. It is the seat of a judicial district as well. The site of Ciudad Rodrigo, perched atop a rocky rise on the right bank of the River Águeda, has been occupied since the Neolithic Age, known also as Mirobriga by those who wish to associate the city with an ancient Celtic village in the outskirts of the modern city, a key border fortress. It was the site of a 10-day siege by the Duke of Wellington, and its capture from the French opened up the invasion of Spain in 1812. Geography. Ciudad Rodrigo is situated on the right bank of the Águeda River, about 89 kilometers southwest of Salamanca and 25 kilometers away from the Portuguese border. The autovia A62 links Ciudad Rodrigo with Salamanca, Valladolid and Burgos, and with Portugal. Climate. Ciudad Rodrigo has a Mediterranean climate characterized by hot and dry summers and cool, damp winters. History. Origins. Ciudad Rodrigo was originally a Celtic village under the name of Mirobriga. The town was later taken by the Romans during the conquest of Lusitania and named Augusta Briga. In the 12th century, the site was repopulated by King Ferdinand II of Leon, walling it and re-establishing the old Visigothic diocese of Calabria into the new bishopric as suffragan of the diocese of Santiago de Compostela. It comprised a big part of the province of Salamanca, and a portion of the province of Cáceres, an act confirmed by Pope Alexander III in 1175. This led to the construction of the city's cathedral, an architectural hybrid of the Gothic and late Romanesque styles. King Alfonso VIII gave the city of Calabria to the Diocese of Ciudad Rodrigo in 1191. The first bishop of whom anything certain is known was called Pedro, and one of the most celebrated was the learned jurist Don Diego de Covarrubias y Leyva. Artistic works. During the 15th century, a series of artworks of perhaps 35 panels, known as the retablo of the Cathedral of the Ciudad Rodrigo, was created by Fernando Gallegard, Maestro Bartolomé, and the artists of the workshops. Over the centuries, the works became badly deteriorated. In 1954, they were acquired by the Samuel H. Kress Foundation, which had them fully restored. In 1961, the foundation donated the works to the University of Arizona Museum of Art, where they reside today. Napoleonic Wars. Main articles: Siege of Ciudad Rodrigo and Siege of Ciudad Rodrigo. Its position as a fortified town on the main road from Portugal to Salamanca made it militarily important in the middle years of the Napoleonic Peninsular War. The French Marshal Michel Ney took Ciudad Rodrigo on July 9, 1810, after a 24-day siege. The 5,500-man Spanish garrison of Field Marshal Don Andrés de Heresty put up a gallant defense, surrendering only after French artillery opened a breach in the walls and their infantry were poised for an assault. The Spanish suffered 461 killed and 994 wounded, while 4,000 men and 118 cannon were captured. NEY's 6th Corps lost 180 killed and over 1,000 wounded during the siege. The French soldiery then pillaged the city. The siege delayed Marshal André Masséna's invasion of Portugal by a month. The British General Wellington began his 1812 campaign by taking Ciudad Rodrigo by storm on the night of January 19, 1812. January 20, 1812, after preparatory operations lasting about 10 days. In these clashes, the British captured the Greater Tesson on January 8 and the Lesser Tesson on January 16. Meanwhile, Two breaches in the walls had been opened by Wellington's 23 24-pound and 4 18-pound siege guns under the command of Captain Alexander Dixon. Major General Thomas Picton's 3rd Division assaulted the greater breach while Robert Crawford's Light Division attacked the lesser breach. Allied losses in the siege were 195 killed and 916 wounded, although amongst the dead were Marge Gens Henry Mackinnon and Crawford. The 2,000-man French garrison under Brig Gen Barrier lost 529 killed and wounded, while the rest were captured. The French army of Portugal lost its entire siege train among the 142 captured cannon. There were 2 cannons embedded in the wall of the greater breach that caused most casualties in the storming. The 88th Connaught Rangers Regiment took one of the guns while the 45th Nottinghamshire Regiment took the other. The victory was marred when the British rank and file thoroughly sacked the city, despite the efforts of their officers. The capture of Ciudad Rodrigo allowed Wellington to proceed to Badajoz, whose taking was a much more bloody affair. In 1812, the then Viscount Wellington was rewarded for his victorious liberation of Spain with the hereditary Spanish ducal victory title of Duque de Ciudad Rodrigo. Ciudad Rodrigo is also the birthplace of Siglo de Oro writer Feliciano da Silva. Sites. The historic center of Ciudad Rodrigo is enclosed by the city walls. The antique walls were built during the 12th century. In the 17th century the walls were rebuilt and reinforced by bastions, ravelins and artillery batteries. The Cathedral of Santa Maria is a medieval cathedral. The original cathedral was constructed in the 12th century in late Romanesque style and was refurbished in the 16th century by Rodrigo Gilda Hontanon. The cathedral constrains many artworks: the portal of the main facade, the 16th century choir stalls, Baroque retables, medieval sculptures, and sepulchres. Old mansions. There are several well-preserved Renaissance and Baroque mansions and palaces such as Castro's Palace. Stand out the facade. Palace of the Aguila, with a garden and 2 courtyard, one of them in plateresque style, and many others. Casa of the Cornejo, Casa of the Conde de Alba de Yeltes, Casa of the Vasquez. The castle of Henry II of Castile was built in the 14th century on a spur overlooking the Águeda River. It is currently used as a parador, a kind of hotel located in a historic building. The Plaza Mayor, the central town square. Some historical buildings around the square include the 16th-century City Hall and the plateresque Casa del Marqués de Cerralbo, Chapel of Cerralbo. The Castle of Henry II of Castile. This castle was built by the medieval King Enrique II of Castile in 1372. International relations. Ciudad Rodrigo is twinned with